This all started because a young boy who happened to have open heart surgery desperately wanted to prove his toughness, not only to himself, but to everybody by playing football.
Brick was born with a heart murmur, and he needed to have open heart surgery. He was frustrated because after the surgery, he had to stay indoors for recess. He went for his final checkup, and the doctor said, "Okay, Brick, you can go out to recess now, no restrictions." He looked at the doctor and he said, "Doctor, will you tell my mom that I can play football?" The doctor looked at me. He looked at Brick. He goes, "Brick, I don't see what the problem is here with your mother." And then you saw this youngster like, yes.
Given a new lease on life, D'Brickashaw blossomed into a star on the football field.
It was fun because he was passionate about the game, and he stayed on the field on defense as a defensive end, and then he would flip and he would be the offensive tackle. So it was an awesome experience.
Playing in the Jets' backyard in Freeport, Long Island, Brick completely dominated the high school competition.
The coaches noticed that there's something special about this kid, his football abilities. I remember him laying out a couple of kids, not saying I'm proud of it in a sense, but it is what it was,
D'Brickashaw's next stop was the University of Virginia, where he would become a 4-year starter on the Cavaliers' offensive line, and a name for the NFL to remember.
I was breaking down a lineman, pre-draft scouting reports, breaking down a guard from Virginia. So I called down to Al Golden, who was a D coordinator at the time at Virginia. I said, "Tell me about this guy, Elton Brown." He goes, "The guy that you guys really need to look at is D'Brickashaw Ferguson, because this guy's the real deal."
Brick would earn first-team All-American honors his senior year, and as he prepared for the NFL draft, he gave teams a glimpse of the type of player and person he was.
At the combine, we're walking around doing the interviews. I'm there in ripped jeans and like a polo shirt. I see Brick come around the corner, and I just left an interview and he's coming in. He's in a 3-piece suit. And I said, "Brick, you look very good." I was like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Well, it's a job interview." It's like, oh man, I'm not getting drafted.
The Jets would select D'Brickashaw with the 4th pick and Nick Mangold 25 picks later. Together, they would become the foundation of the Jets' offensive line for years to come, and Brick, one of the best left tackles in football.
To have a person of his length, size, and athleticism is rare. There was no one way a premier pass rusher could say, "Well, I could do this to him." Oh, really?
One of the biggest assets Brick has is, it seems like his go-go gadget arms. He's so tall and lean that if you ever put one of those big paws in the middle of your chest, it's like stopping a truck.
There's definitely times where you watch him play and you see him just shut somebody down. It's like watching an art, the way he goes about it. There were times all throughout his career of him just dominating guys.
With his sheer athletic grace and indomitable will to succeed, Brick manned the left side for a decade, missing just one regular season snap because of a trick play.
As far as I'm concerned, if there were no linemen on the field, he didn't miss a snap. Not only that, he made every practice. That's almost impossible or unheard of in the NFL. He came to work every day. Brick was always out there, just did what he was supposed to do, didn't complain, kept his mouth shut, kept it light. And we all have bad days and heavy days, and you couldn't see it on his face. That's a gift in itself.
During this last season, there was a period of, maybe things are changing. The automatic thought that I would always be this left tackle, I felt like that was changing. Playing this game at a high level, it's not easy. But when that continues to get harder and harder and harder, I think you also have to ask yourself, how long can I continue to do this? After talking with my wife and my agent, that the decision was made that this is where I was going to stop.
After 10 seasons, 167 consecutive starts, and 3 Pro Bowls, D'Brickashaw Ferguson's incredible journey was over. But his legacy will carry on forever.
His performance and production at left tackle was the absolute best he could be. He fulfilled his potential to its maximum. And there's nothing that Brick didn't do to the utmost ability, and there's no box that you couldn't check in Brick's personality career that wasn't an A+.
If anybody was to look back and remember D'Brickashaw Ferguson, I hope they know that he was probably the most authentic football player that ever graced the football field. If he has something to say and it's not the right thing to say, or if it's not a good thing to say to somebody, he won't say it. That's hard to find today in this world. He's very like, hey, if I don't have something good to say, I'm just going to keep it. You know, whatever you receive from me is about uplift and love and respect. And that's what he represents. He's a beautiful human being.